It is 6:15 in commercial activities plummet as heavy flood disrupts movement across Douala 3 locked in drainage, holding back commuters for many hours. And the National Assembly building of Cameroon, renamed after the country's president, the 54 billion francs, and as workers in Cameroon and the uneasy relationship that exists between employers and employees. International, and check out that actually disrupted professional activities in the early hours of this Friday, and commuters were held back by rising waters for more than 3 hours. Maureen D actually had to walk through the waters in Douala.
It was a difficult start of the day in Dogbasi, Douala 3 subdivision as heavy rainfall early Friday. At the Dogbasi market, many traders were unable to set up their stalls, while motorists and pedestrians alike faced long delays and tough conditions. Half year. We are forced to dip our feet in waters because we have to feed our families. With their feet deep in water, locals were left navigating flooded path with uncertainty. The morning hustle was replaced by frustration as entire sections of the route no one were able to move around here. The floods not only disrupted business but also exposed long-standing infrastructure concerns in the area. Residents blame the situation on narrow or clogged drainage systems which fail to handle even moderate rainfall. We have gutters are full of dirt and the gutters are blocked. As the rainy season begins, the people of Dogbasi fear that this will be yet another sake
unrestricted, and many people who actually vie cost that has been very facile visited that market today.
Over a year after its construction, the new market in Douala is still facing challenges in attracting vendors. Despite being inaugurated on April 26 last year by the mayor of Douala 2 municipality, the market remains underutilized, with many traders pointing to the steep rental fees as a key reason for the lack of interest.
Le prix part dans les environs de 10 à 15 millions.
The high rental costs for shop spaces are seen as prohibitive for many small businesses. Traders have urged authorities to reconsider the pricing, suggesting that a more flexible payment structure allowing them to pay progressively will make it easier for them to afford the spaces and operate within the market. So far, there has been no official response from the Douala 2 municipal office regarding these concerns, and efforts to contact them have not yielded any comment. Though the market has the infrastructure to serve the community, its success to revitalize the area and support vendors remain unrealized.
Public
of Freeman. His release, confirmed on Monday, April 21, has triggered strong reactions both online and among civil society organizations. Many argue the move undermines angles and the fight for justice in cases of domestic abuse. But despite the
execution of the court sentence,
yes, it's normal.
The family of Diane Iyango, still reeling from the loss, says the fight is far from over. They have allegedly filed for an appeal and are hoping for a more favorable outcome.
The lawyer will do what is right.
After spending 16 months in detention, United calls for judicial reforms and stronger protections for victims of gender-based violence.
Here, President Paul actually comes back to that.
For the first time coming to the strong and fruitful cooperation between Cameroon and China, the naming ceremony was chaired by Right Honorable Kavaye Jibril, who describes President Paul Biya as a great nation builder and committed statesman who leaves no stone unturned to ensure peace, unity and development in Cameroon.
The head of state has put in place during his mandate, and that is why we can see what we are seeing today.
President Paul Biya is personally represented by Prime Minister Joseph Diangote, who has transmitted the President's message of acceptance and encouragement to the lawmakers.
His heartfelt gratitude for the high honor bestowed upon him by the August House in naming the new building Paul Biya Glass House.
At the heart of these achievements are the tireless efforts of key stakeholders, including the Speaker of the National Assembly and members of the project's steering committee, who have received medals of honor for a job well done. The event was marked by a projection of a documentary on Paul Biya's achievements and cultural performances.
And in politics, voter period last for 54,886, about 59,000 registered voters. Now, Moridi was at Elekam and reports.
As of April 22, 2024, Elekam offices across Vuri Division had registered 58,886 new voters, a figure well below expectations and lower than last year's numbers during the same time frame. Officials say part of the problem stems from limited outreach efforts. Field operations to reach potential voters have slowed, and Elekam is being urged to bring registration points closer to the population. We had 50% registration as far as registration on the electoral list is concerned in the littoral region, and people actually collect them. But low registration isn't the only concern. A growing issue is the non-collection of voters' cards issued between 2021 and 2024. According to Elekam, 59,142 cards remain uncollected. Electoral authorities are also calling for the decongestion and redistribution of polling centers to improve access to their persons. Polling, a lot of pressure, a lot of fighting, a lot of disorder.
Aux tensions, aux bousculades.
The Vuri Divisional Elekam Commission says it is committed to intensifying outreach, improving logistics, and refining strategy as the electoral calendar advances.
Cameroon, the labor law is outdated. Ambo Gladys Diba.
In Cameroon, as in other countries around the world, a worker is broadly understood to be any individual who engages in a gainful activity that ensures their livelihood and basic needs. Whether farming, trading, or providing professional services, anyone who works to earn a living falls under this umbrella. However, under Cameroonian labor law, the definition of a worker is more restrictive. The legal framework mainly applies to subordinate workers, those who are employed by someone, follow directives, and receive a portion of the population, works in the informal sector, self-employed agricultural workers, independent traders, even auxiliary workers, none of whom are fully captured by current labor protections. The worry is whether their status can change.
Of the informal sector, initiatives like the 1994 creation of common initiative groups and the 2016 CNPS helped to unify all forms of labor, as different worker situations require different approaches.
A major stumbling block is the outdated nature of Cameroon's labor code.
Cameroon's labor law, dating back to 1982, is outdated and hasn't been revised in over 30 years. Legislative unity to redefine the country's social and labor systems effectively.
Many believe it's high time for cohesion to the system.
As they demonstrated, technology and waste management empower vulnerable and underprivileged children. Ambo Gladys once more.
A wave of excitement at the Thrive Center in Douala, which crafted to address pressing societal challenges through technology. Amongst them was mom health care and innovation aimed at improving maternal health using digital solutions. Because these days we have some pregnant women who lack the experience and so find it difficult. These young girls are set to participate in the upcoming Technovation competition, where they will pitch their innovations on a global stage. For many, this journey began thanks to Striving for All, a non-governmental organization devoted to empowering vulnerable and underprivileged children through education and skill training.
We learned is that artificial intelligence, web programming, and so much more.
I learned how to program, and I learned how to speak English.
Parents, guardians, and attendants were visibly moved by the progress made over just 8 months.
I was so impressed and satisfied. This is what we need to build this country. They express themselves well. They have big ideas that they are putting into action. But what I loved most is that they are confident and they know and love how to work together.
Organizers of the program highlighted the zeal to give outstanding trainees more opportunities by offering them internships.
They will start learning for the professional world.
Impressed by their enthusiasm, the chief executive officer of the organization did not fail to encourage the students.
Our students are still learning English, and I want to thank them for the effort and determination. I'm very grateful for the parents who trust us with their kids and the public schools, Lycée Just and Lycée de Newbel, for their collaboration. Special thanks to our guests and ambassador who took the time to come and celebrate with us.
At the end of the event, the close to 100 young minds, both boys and girls, received their end-of-course certificates as the program's slogan, Boring Day in Douala, the young people proved just that.
The winners of Miss Fiesta 2020, Mayor Regime Basantine, Sherifa Saleh was part of that ceremony.
Miss Fiesta 2024 came to the glittering close with the celebration of showcased young women who embody confidence, creativity, and purpose. The highlights of the event was the official awards ceremony held at Tokoto Hall, where the city mayor of Douala, Regime Basantine, commended the laureates for their remarkable poise and maturity in the presentation of their projects. The ceremony brought together local dignitaries, supporters, and members of the community to applaud the achievements of these exceptional young women. This year's crown went to Ngeya Humpotu Noemi Daniela, who now plans to use her title as a platform to engage, educate young people across the city. Her vision includes leveraging her visibility to champion awareness campaigns in the elegance and intelligence of the contestants through dynamic visuals and expressive performances.
Sherifa Saleh, wrapping up this edition for a weekend ahead. Matthew Fangwa is now on the corridors with the brief, the actuality they are going to handle sports. From all of us,